Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. My name is Honorable Lea Sankaire, the Women Representative for Kajiado County and the Chairperson for Kenya Women Parliamentary Association. We are here today on the National Dialogue on GBV Protection Centers. We want to start looking at the holistic life of a person that has been, her rights have been violated. And most of the time we talk about getting we talk about perpetrators, we talk about having to bring perpetrators into books, but this conversation will not be complete, not having a safe place for these people whose rights have been violated. You see a woman walking out at night with her children, with fear, doesn't know where to start life from. This conversation is not complete unless we know where this woman is going to. And so today we are here having a national dialogue conversation on where do these women go to, where can we take these women to, where can we take these children to, so that they can receive the care, they can receive the treatment, they can receive the gone through psychological torture, and who's going to treat them, who's going to take care of them, who's going to help them come back to life after what they have gone through. And so most of the time we've dealt with one part, like looking for the perpetrators, making sure that the perpetrators are brought into book, which is actually one of the main objectives of handling GBV. But that is not enough. After we've handled that, what happens to this survivor? What happens to her children? What happens to her life? What happens to her health? What happened to her? What happens to her safety, and where does she begin from? Because most women walk out of their homes. Yes, you've walked out of a home, you've walked out of a house, you've walked out of your job. What next to you? You've walked out with children. Those children need a place to sleep. You need a place to sleep. They need an education. Those people need health. They need to be taken care of. What do they get this from? Because most of the time they move out, they get devastated, and most of them end up in the streets, or most of them end up even having to end their lives. We have had conversations of children who have gone through that, and they've tried to end their lives because they don't know where to start from. Women don't know where to start from. And so we are saying as a country that we need to start a conversation that after GBV, where do we take our victims to, and how can we help them to rebuild, to gain their health, and also to come back to life and live as normal people. So thank you very much.
Parama County.
Okay, so first of all, it's to really thank all the partners, especially SHOFCO, who've come together with government and stakeholders, survivors, and CSO, civil society, to actually have this discussion. We know that we have rising cases of sexual gender-based violence in not just our country, it's all over the world, and we need permanent, holistic solutions, integrated. We need to be able to understand our perpetrators and what leeway do they have that makes them do that. We've realized that a lot of the femicide cases that are reported or sexual gender-based violence cases are actually partners. Do we need to create counseling centers all over so that couples can actually have counseling before it becomes a situation where a husband or a father or a partner rises against the wife or the girlfriend or the sister or the daughter? So we need to have a holistic approach. This conversation is timely because, one, we cannot just have shelters without funding. Government needs to put money, and money that is sustaining the shelters. Some of the shelters that we have in this country are by survivors, and they're not able to sustain the expenses. It's the same way we have the situation with orphanages. People set up orphanages, there's no support from government, and it's not sustainable. So it's government taking responsibility and coming up with frameworks that integrate both public and private sector together to be able to find permanent solutions. GBV cannot be ignored. I think our president has proven through the task force that it's something that has reached his office and his ears, and he wants to do something about it. This conversation that we're having today, where we bring even survivors and we hear the chilling stories, everybody, all hands on deck. If we get this right, then we will go and also address the issues of mental health, drugs and alcohol, poverty. But no woman, no child, no mentally challenged person, no old person, no PWD should be unsafe. We want to stop the next victim. We want to make sure that we also provide support. And support also goes beyond just a shelter. It goes into economic empowerment, because what happens after you've been to the shelter? where do you then start earning your income? A woman should not stay in an abuse setup because she has no place to go. And that's the conversation we're having here today.
It's a question to some of most of the asks.